Preparing to stream in. Okay, it's still going. Setting up a meeting. Done. Preparing to stream in. Okay, you've got it.
Okay, hi, I'm Elaine Wolf, and I am a former math teacher, and I have reinvented myself because I love paper and I love paper crafting. And a few years ago, I was introduced to Turtle Stitch, and I love it. Turtle Stitch is a wonderful way to code and to make things. And I have made just because Turtle Stitch is for the embroidery machine, I also make things out of paper with the same coding. In fact, I just made, now this is a pop-up Valentine card that I just made. If you can see it. So it has a rubber band mechanism at the bottom, and if you close it, it will pop up, and that's how comes out of the envelope, and it it deploys. So anyway, I have used Turtle Stitch for not only embroidery, but for my paper crafting. So anyway, I just wanted everyone to know how versatile the Turtle Stitch code is. But about 2 years ago, Cynthia and Susan gave a course on tea and Turtle Stitch. So I was in the first session and I learned so much from them. I have been coding for the last 2 years in paper and in embroidery, and it's been fascinating. It's a really wonderful journey. So today, what I want to share is a talk that I gave about a year or so ago, and it was at a SNAP conference, and it's comparing Picasso and Wacław Spakowski. Now, they're both artists who created designs that start with just one line. And so I'm going to share my screen. Here we go. Hope this works. And let's go to my desktop, and then I will go to my desktop, and then, oh, we don't want paper tape music. I want to go to comparing Picasso. Okay, so here we go. This is, let's make this look. Okay, so Turtle Stitch is a wonderful way to compare Picasso's one-line drawings and Wacław's rhythmical line drawings. So line drawings are the foundation of all drawings. In this presentation, I will explore two artists, Pablo Picasso and Wacław Spakowski. They both use the line as an expressive medium. I will show the methods that I use to recreate their line drawings in Turtle Stitch. So here's Picasso's one-liners. Now, I know we did something similar 2 weeks ago, but I'm going to go over it. I'm going to show you a different program. And I'll go into that let me read what I've written, produced here. Picasso created many great works, and his one-liners are an excellent example of his whimsical side. With one continuous flowing line, Picasso takes us on a journey across the page. Following the line from the beginning to the end, meandering across the page with a series of curlicues, subjects such as animals, circus performers, jazz musicians, and a variety of other performers are created. Picasso drew multiple versions of his subjects, which indicates his pleasure of drawing these permutations. I love how he did this, the bull's head, and they're in different perspectives. And then the Harlequin, he just did, I love, he did his hat and he did his ruffle around his neck, but they're both, they're both Harlequins, but just with a different perspective. Picasso's one-liners show the power of a single continuous line. An implement is placed on a medium and is not lifted until the drawing is completed. And here's the one that I gave to Cynthia. This is the pencil sketch for Mercury. We showed that a little earlier today. To create a Picasso liner in TurtleStitch, I imported an SVG image to the stage area by the import command. This image becomes the background of the stage. This imported SVG image must be resized to accommodate the size restrictions of the stage area in TurtleStitch. And on here. Okay, the SVG must be approximately 3.5 inches in height and 4.5 inches in width for the TurtleStitch stage area. I copy the image into my Silhouette Studio software. The Designer Edition or above is required to save as an SVG, which is a graphical editing program. I resized the image, centered it on the screen, and saved the design as an SVG. You can use other vector graphical interfaces, such as Inkscape, to resize, center, and save your design. My experience was JPEGs and PNGs created with the Silhouette Studio software were blurry. So what I want everyone to know is you could probably use SVG images off of the internet. However, sometimes they are too big for the stage area, and then you have to zoom out. And this is why I like to have them 3.5 inches by 4.5 inches. So it's in that constraint of the stage area. I have made 2 versions of a Picasso one-liner tracing program. The first one is a simple program where the cursor's position is recorded and the movement of the cursor creates the embroidery stitches. I like this program because no mistakes are allowed, and you have just one chance of creating the image. If you don't like what you have created, you have to start over again. I believe that this program is in the spirit of Picasso. A line is drawn quickly and the result is final. So let's go to, let me go back. Oops, I didn't want to go back. Sorry, I didn't mean to go back. Okay. Okay, sorry about that. Little glitch here. Got to go back to slideshow.
Not to worry.
Sorry.
That's
a little
okay.
nervous. I don't know
Not to
what's nervous
worry.
today. I just, okay. It's full screen. So wait, one more. Okay. We'll go next page. Okay, so I want everyone to go to this project, draw a Picasso one-liner. I will put that in the chat. Let's see, put that in the chat here. Yeah. I've got to make it. Sorry about that. Susan, can you put that in the chat? It's the draw
I
Picasso
absolutely
one.
can because I have it right here.
Okay, that's great because it's so hard to manipulate things here. Okay, so what I'm going to be doing is we've done this with Andrea 2 weeks ago where we drew we imported an image as a background and then we drew it. But what I'd like you to do today is not take an image. I want you to feel like you're Picasso. And what I'd like you to do is I'd like you to go into this program, and when you hit the 0 key, that will clear out the image. And so you go to your cursor and you hit the space bar, and then you can just move your cursor, and I'm just going to draw a silly flower here, and it's easy. And then there we go. And then I'm going to write my name at the bottom here. Oops. Okay, so there we go. And then to end the program, you just say S, and I stopped. So this is an easy way to draw a one-liner. It's just one continuous line. You start someplace and you end. You can't make any mistakes, but it's okay. I think that's what Picasso did. And I think that's a wonderful way of exploring turtle stitch. Maybe I should go over the commands here. So if you look, there's a hat block here, and it says when the 0 key is pressed. So whenever the 0 key is pressed, if I were to press the 0 key at this point, it clears out that first command. It clears it out. The pen is up, and then it gives me a running stitch, and then it goes to the center of the screen, which is 0, 0. So that's what the 0 hat block, when 0 key hat block is pressed. When the space key is pressed, that's when it starts. So the pen is up to coming in, and then there's a forever block, meaning this is going to occur wherever until you say stop. And then so you go to it goes to the mouse pointer, and pen is down, and it records where the mouse is. So if I were to hit the space bar, and there it goes, you can see it's trailing my cursor here, and it's recording the different spots on the screen. And then if I press the S key, it stops. So anyway, what I'd like everybody to do is to just try it, because I think it's a fun program. It's very simple to see and to understand. So yeah, does everybody want to try it?
Yes.
Okay, great. And I'm going to stop sharing my screen. Stop sharing. Okay, so I'm stopping sharing, and I just want everybody to try, see how easy it is. Does everyone have fun? It's really a lot of
Yes,
fun.
I'm having fun. Maybe folks want to share what they've seen, what they've.
Or I want to see what everyone's done. Is everyone drawing a Picasso today?
So let's have one person share. Kate, do you want to share?
I deleted mine so many times, so I'll come up with something.
Okay. You can share and we can watch you. It's
Well,
okay. You should see mine. You want me to show mine?
let's
Mine
get
is-
Walter to share.
Walter? Okay.
Yeah.
You have to unmute Walter. Excellent.
So I just did
Ah!
Well, that's
Ubu,
fun.
Look
Ubu
at.
Raw by Alfred Jarry.
Oh, it's fabulous, Walter. You're
Sort
a
of from the same era as some of the Picasso drawings, this graphic.
fabulous.
This was a sort of a surrealist play and this was the character, the main character in the play, Ubu.
Ubu is awesome.
Save it.
All right.
How
I can
about
sh
this
I can
Oh.
share.
there? Go ahead.
Let me see if I can. I miss my multiple screens too, Elaine. So what this reminded me of is free motion quilting, because when you free motion quilt, you maneuver the fabric underneath the needle to create single line drawing patterns. And I'm really not spending enough time practicing to be good at it. By the time I get to the end of a quilt, I can be pretty good at it, but it's that same sense of like, you have to know where you're going next, and you can stop, but it'll wiggle if you do. But there are a lot of classic free motion designs that would work for this, that you could kind of, you can go over your own line, but you have to keep going. And the other thing I have to say, and this is probably because I'm on a computer without a mouse, is that I kept wanting to click and drag rather than just drag the mouse, which shows how hard our training is with how you manipulate software, that usually to draw you click and drag. And I think if I were going to do this for anything I really wanted to keep, I'd go find my mouse rather than using the trackpad.
Yeah, the kids know how to use the trackpad so easily, but I can't. I still haven't mastered it. I use my mouse too.
Yeah.
Do we have one more person or shall we go on?
Okay, yeah.
How about Miss Colley? I love your face. Would you do that again?
No. Okay. All right.
Let's go on.
Okay, so I'll share my screen again. Here we go. Let's see. Actually, let's share that. And you can see what I drew. I drew a flower bouquet and I put my name on it because it's
Oh,
easy to,
that's beautiful.
yeah. And so, all right, let's go back here to the one-liner. So we've done that. So I think it's wonderful that the line is drawn quickly and the result is final, because I think it makes you think harder, like, oh, I can't make any mistakes. Let me just move slowly across the screen and work on it. So I do like that. And we've done that. Let's see. Oh, I didn't talk about this, but in TurtleStitch, I recommend tracing the image in an enlarged stage area. So, and we didn't do that, and maybe some people did, but we've learned that with Andrea. So you go to the stage area where the ribbon is in the area here, and there's those two arrows pointing inwards or outwards, and then you toggle this button to enlarge the stage area or return to the original size with the palette and scripting paint. Okay, let's go move on. Okay, so the second version of the Picasso one-liner is more complicated. It's a tracing program, which is similar to Andrea's. So Andrea and I think everyone got our code from Yagda. And then we took that code and we expanded upon it. And that's what TurtleStitch is all about. You take code that has already been created and you add your little spin to it. And my spin on this was to add a flip to it, to add scaling to it. So yeah, and it's wonderful a way to do this program. So Yagda created this program with a table, and the code it's a vector tracing program, and the things that I added were scaling, flipped, and mirrored. And then the program records all of the data and the table is saved. And this allows the data to be retrieved when the TurtleStitch program is open again. For instance, now that you drew that program that designed in the previous program, you can't, you have to send it to your file, and that's how you would embroider it. You cannot retrieve it. If you were to close that program, that design is lost. But with this code, your design can be recreated. And that's the beauty of this program. So I'm going to have everyone go to this program, and then I'll talk about it. Let's
I'm putting
see.
it in I'm putting it in.
Okay, wonderful. So here, the code is almost identical to the previous program, where we zeroed out when you press the hat block says you zero it out and you reset. But there's a graphical list, a graphical table, or a table is created, and this will record all of the points that the turtle is at. And then I also learned, I don't know if Andrea had this in her program, but the E key, the stop key must be used at the end of the program. Now, the reason why this is true, my brother, PE 800, did not recognize the program because there wasn't a stop in it. So I don't know if that's a TurtleStitch problem or a brother problem, but I had to put a stop, code a stop in my program. So that's why this is here. And I don't know if Andrea has that problem with her embroidery machine. But anyway, that's why I have that. You must use the E key to stop it. So when I receive an update, so whenever the mouse is moved, and I should go back here. So when the space key is pressed, it goes to the mouse pointer, and then it takes the X and Y, and then it broadcasts this update. And then this update is then placed into a list, and the list has the X position, the Y position, if the pen is up or down. So this is, and it goes into this table called graphic. So that is the table. I don't know if Andrea talked about the table. I think she did. She showed you what the table looks like. And here's what the table looks like. And if I were just to type S, and there is my rooster. So it's the table has been populated with the X and the Y coordinates. Oops, I can't expand it. There you go. And this is true or false. And that true or false says if the pen is up or down. So that's the table there. And let's see what else. So then I also coded a few other things. The R removes the last stitch. And I think Andrea had that in
Yes.
her program, in her code. However, she didn't have the size. I added a size. So if I were, make this smaller and move this over, and if I make this size 1.5, my image is going to get 1.5 times larger. Or if I make it 0.5, it's going to get smaller.
I have a question.
Yes.
You make it larger and smaller. Does the stitch size stay the same, or does
Yes.
it get smaller?
Yes.
And does it get larger?
The stitch size has to remain the same because there's no way of increasing the number or decreasing the number of stitches. I think there might be a way to code that way down the line, but the simple code does not do it. It just resizes it with the same number of stitches.
Ah, so they do get larger and smaller. So there's more space. The stitches are longer when you make it bigger.
Yes, that
And
is
the
correct.
stitches are smaller when you make it smaller.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And then I added something where it's a flip. This image will flip. So instead of facing to the right, it'll face to the left. And it does remain the same because I did not put a size factor in here, so a scaling factor in here, which if I were to recode this, I would probably put a scaling factor. If somebody wanted to do it, it's not really necessary, but it just resizes it back to the original size. And then I also have one more thing where I have a mirror. So I'm going to create, if I do this, it's going to zoom out. If I zoom out, you'll see that I have mirrored that image. So I think that's really cool if you wanted two of the same. So anyway, that's my code. I added a lot
Can
of
I
things.
ask a question? What's
Sure.
the difference between flip and mirror?
The difference between flip and mirror, okay, flip is only creates one image and it's the mirror image, and mirror creates two images. So
Ah,
this M created two images and this flip only creates one image.
that's awesome. Thank you.
Yeah.
That's very useful.
Yeah, I think it's a fun way to create, things. It's like, oh, I want another one of the same. And
Would you mirror it twice, please?
mirror it twice. It's because it's resetting itself. It's not going to mirror again
Okay.
because I've got that reset button. Now, if I were to take it out, I don't think so because I've set the value, the position. I probably could code it if I were to do that. Let's see. Press M, and then I do it again. No, it's not moving to a different spot, and that's because I go to this X and Y value.
Okay, sorry. If
Yeah, no, that's okay. I could code it. It's just going to take me a while to do that. Yeah. But anyway, I'd like people to play with this now. I'm not going to ask you to put an image in the background. I think it'd be fun to just try again to make something. And this time you can, if you've made a mistake, you can go back and replace, you go with the R key, it'll go back to the previous stitch.
I have another question. Did you change what S does?
What does S do? S is just to scale. It's got a
You
0.5.
did change it. It is no longer stop. I'm
Uh,
sorry, from the other,
Oh, that's true. Yes, my S is to scale. Sorry. Yes, that's how it is different than Andrea's.
and so now you have to say E to stop everything.
And you have to say E to stop everything so that you can
And
send
I
it.
have another question. When
Yes.
you do this, do you have a picture in your head or do you have a picture on a piece of paper that, I mean, if you
I just had something in my head,
like
because
you did those flowers because you've done them before, so that you had that picture in your head. The
I
thing
just
you,
had that picture in my head and I decided that's what I wanted it to look like. Yes. So no, I did not have a picture. If you want to put a picture, you're more than welcome to do it. It's
no,
not
but I'm just asking a question about thinking.
Oh, okay.
Now,
Yes.
I would need a picture, not just in my mind.
Okay.
That's all.
I thought it would be different this time so everybody can just use a picture in their mind because we've done this with Andrea where there was a picture in the behind and then we were
No, I don't want a picture behind. I want a picture either in my mind or in a book beside me.
Oh, okay,
So
that would be a good
that's
idea.
all I'm asking is, do you do
Oh, have I
for
just
somebody
copied
that's
something?
never done this before? The idea of having a picture in mind of what I want to do is foreign. That's
Oh yeah, that's an excellent idea. Yeah. Yeah, just to open a book and look around you and say, "Oh, I'd like to do that cat," or "I would like to do something." That would be fun. So I'm going to stop sharing and let's see what everybody can come up with.
Elaine, I am clearly doing something wrong. I am not getting
Okay.
it to draw.
Okay.
And
I
the
have
other one worked perfectly, but this one not so much.
Okay. All right. So, all right, let's
You have
see.
to click the space bar every time. I ran into that problem.
Yes, you should hold the space bar down and then move. I'm like trying to remember. Yes, you hold the space bar down and then you move the cursor.
Okay,
No,
yes, because that's actually that's different than the other one when I was just clicking the space bar.
Yes, yes, it is. This program is different.
Yeah,
And
I
then
was
if
not
you
here
were-
when we did this lesson before.
Okay, and then when you want to have a jump stitch created, press the letter U. So you
Right. Now
can.
that part I saw, but I wasn't.
So
So
yeah,
it's really when space key is held.
it isn't held. It's just clicked.
Okay, when I click the space bar, Cynthia, the turtle jumps
That's right.
a few stitches.
If I
but
hold it down, the whole stage moves.
no, that
Oh, now it works. Okay, it didn't work before. Thank you.
Oh, I see.
Where's the scaling?
where's the scaling? So have you drawn something and you are happy
I
with it?
mirrored it. It's so big. I want to make it small.
Okay, so you go to the where it says where S key is pressed, and you
Okay.
can set size to whatever size you want.
Oh, I've got to see where S key is. Oh, yeah.
It's where
Yeah.
the S hat is.
2.2. Okay. Didn't like it. Didn't do anything. Oh, wait a minute. Ooh, it got messed up.
Does anybody have something they'd like to share? No.
Oh, it didn't do the mirrored image. It just did the other image. Okay.
All right, then I guess, Elaine, you have to show the masterpiece that's going to make all of us feel sad about
Oh
art.
no, it's not. I'll share. Okay, where is here we go.
I'll show my
Oh,
lame.
you want to show yours first?
No, no, you show yours first.
Okay. No, that one, this one. It's not that pretty, but it's okay. I'll share it. Your screen sharing. Okay, so and you see it? It's
Oh,
just
yeah.
it's just okay. That's fine.
That's cool.
Mhm.
Like the flowers. I'll show you my lame heart.
I'll stop
So
sharing.
that people can feel like, oh, mine was so much better.
Oh, that's sweet.
So I decided to try your little trick of writing something after it.
Mhm.
So
It's like an advertisement for needing to learn cursive.
yes. A lot of my students couldn't read this. Most of the young people that I teach, the teenagers, they can't even read cursive, let alone write it. So it's funny. Okay, anybody else going to be?
Well, I got frustrated. I got frustrated because um, it needs because if I mirrored something, then I wanted it to stay that way if I resized it. But if I mirror something and then scale it, the mirror goes away. I know
Right.
you said that,
Yeah.
but I find that frustrating.
I'm
That
sorry, I'll recode it for you.
no,
So you
but
have to read. So
I'm
Cynthia,
just
you're saying you have to
saying
read.
that it's half baked for me.
Yeah.
And
Well,
I
it's
think
the other problem.
the potential is there. But I would like it if it were a more
More things, well, I can always add more things to it. Here's the
Can I
thing.
ask a question?
Yeah,
Cynthia, if you resize it first, will it mirror?
it'll mirror. I assume it'll mirror.
but with the
No,
original
no,
size.
it goes back to the original.
Oh, it goes
Yeah,
back
I
to the
haven't-
original
I
size.
haven't coded it that way.
She
Oh,
said
that's
she
so
hadn't.
cool.
She said she hadn't, and I challenged it in my activity because I wanted, and I didn't try just flipping and then mirroring the flipped thing. But once you give me one thing, I want more.
Okay.
There you go. Okay, well, shall we move on?
Sure. Yes, let's move on. And I'm going to share my screen. Okay.
I want to get to the Polish guy because I have
Yes,
Polish
yes,
roots.
that's my next. Why is it? Okay, so here it is, and I'm going to, okay, so we've shared this. And okay, when we talked about this, once you change the size, it increases, but the number of stitches remain the same. So we talked about that. And then the drawing can be flipped with the letter F. We talked about that. And the drawing can be mirrored by the M. Okay, so here we go. Here's Wacław Spakowski, rhythmical line drawings. Wacław Spakowski, 1883 to 1973, was a Polish architect and engineer who designed abstract drawings with ink and grid paper. He began his drawings at the age of 17 and refined them over his lifetime. His ink drawings have very precise properties, with straight lines drawn at right angles to one another, which never intersect. And here's some really cool ones. So, and he starts on this left side, and then he ends on the right side. And so I'm going to point that out. So he starts here and ends there, and he starts here and then ends there. It's really cool because you can see there how he did this. And this is just a mirror image. So anyway, let's continue. Spikowski created his drawings with lines that were 1 millimeter thick and 4 millimeters apart. The ink drawings take on a rhythmical pattern starting on the left side of the page and ending on the right side. And then here you go. There's, I think he starts, where does he start? Oh, he started here and ended over here. And on this one, he started at the top and went over to the right side. And the movement of each design creates a maze of lines. And I love these mazes that he creates. It's a lot of fun to follow with your eye. It's like, how is that done? And the viewer of his drawings will ponder how the drawings were created by following the lines with their eyes to see where the line will take them. Where is the repeat in the pattern? Is the pattern flipped or was it repositioned? The patterns have a lot of movement in them, and as a result, optical illusions of different patterns can be seen. So yeah, it's like there's zigzags creating. If you look at this long enough, it's like it moves. Wayclaw Spakowski published an album of sketches when he was 85 years old called Rhythmical Lines, which displays the simplicity of the line and the geometric relationships between the lines. I created a basic TurtleStitch template to code Spakowski's drawings because I use the same commands repeatedly. Here's the template that I created. It's got a reset, it's got the running stitch, it's got a width, it has a flip factor, a flip 1, a flip 2, a size factor, which is scaling, and then values that were always seemed to be constant. They were 1, 2, 3, 4, 8, 10, and 20. He used those values repeatedly. And then I also created blocks, a turn left block and a turn right block. And these were two different ones. This one had a value and this one had the width. And I'll explain how that works.
I put it in the chat, Elaine.
Excuse me?
I put the link in the chat.
Okay, thank you. The basic template that I created was a size, so the scaling factor and width so that the design can be resized easily, and then the variables with basic values. In my early attempts to code Wayclaw designs, I used mathematical algorithms to move the turtle. Subsequently, I determined that it's easier to have a set value for the turtle to move because of debugging. It's easier to see where the incorrect value is without having to recalculate a computation. So that's why I used these set values. Many of the Wayclaw patterns are repeated from left to right across the design, and a block command can be written for the code. By pointing the turtle in the upward position, point in direction 0, the block can then be repeated or flipped easily. And I said point in direction 0. So all of these commands, when I was writing them, sometimes they would only take me like 15 minutes to write a program, one of Wayclaw's programs, because I had this set commands. It really did make my coding easier. So if you are a coder, you might want to come up with basic commands in whatever you code in the future. I created 2 simple turn blocks, turn and move blocks for the turtle, a turn left 90-degree block and a turn right 90-degree block. Both of these blocks turn and move the turtle in their corresponding direction and allow for resizing and flipping. I used a flip factor equation so the design can be flipped and the TurtleStitch code can be reused by assigning a flip value. And I want to talk about that. So what is flipping? Does everyone understand what a flipping is? When you flip an image, you're taking an image, and so we start here in quadrant 1, and you take this image and you flip it over the y-axis, and this is the image that is created. So here you go. When an object is flipped over the y-axis from quadrant 1 to quadrant 2, the x value changes from a positive value to a negative value. The y value remains the same. So this point here is 3, 4. And when you flip it, it becomes a negative 3, 4. So the only value that changes is the x value. If you look at this point B, it's 2, 4. What changes? The negative 2. So it goes in the x value becomes negative 2. And then here, the x value is 3, and it becomes negative 3. So that is the key to coding a flip. This fact holds true when an object is flipped in code. I created an equation that will flip a point from a positive location to its negative location. Since all of the turtle movements are at 90 degrees to one another in Wayclaw designs, a simple equation can be made to turn the turtle. I made this equation into a block. So, so here it is. There's a flip 1 and a flip 2. Now this gets a little hard when we're turning the turtle. So the flip 1 is going to be 1. So 1 times 90 is just going to be 90. And so the turn is going to be 90 degrees. So it would be normal, right? If I just said turn 90 degrees. But I need these flip factors, the flip 1 and flip 2, for the flipped position. So I hope I'm not losing anybody at this point, but it does get a little sticky here. So the flip 1 variable becomes -1. So remember, I talked about the x value needing to change when you move from quadrant 1 to quadrant 2. So that becomes the -1. So when flipping the turtle, it must move 180 degrees. Now this is the difficult part. It has to move.
Elaine, there's a question. Can I ask?
Yes, yes, yes.
From the chat. So
Yes.
this is from Sonia. So if I want to flip over the x-axis or a line, would I just need to rewrite the flip blocks?
Yes, you would just need to write. Yes, you would give it these equations. You would need to say that it's a -1. And also you need to do one more thing, because, and this is what I was going to explain right now, when flipping the turtle, it has to move 180 degrees to achieve the flip, plus the original 90 degrees for the turn. So the flip 1 value must be -1, and the flip 2 variable must be 360 for the turtle to turn to its flip position of 270 degrees. I know this is where I'm going to lose everybody. But trust me, that's what you need. You have to turn it so it's flipped it, and then you have to move it 90 degrees. Because remember, we're doing a turn of 90 degrees.
I think these words, again, we should have a conversation. I think flip 1 and flip 2 are very disconcerting. They're not if you're steeped in algebra and you've already studied this, but as an outsider coming, I think these names need to be expanded.
Okay.
Okay.
What words would you use?
I don't know. I can't.
Oh, okay.
I'm just saying it's not sufficient and needs discussion, I think.
Okay. Does anybody else have a suggestion out there? Because if I put negative, positive, I don't know.
Maybe in using it, you get comfortable, but in this conversation, I get lost as to
What's occurring?
what is the variable flip 2? What is it?
Okay,
what does
so
it contain? And that's all. It's a variable. It isn't a block.
yes, flip 2 is a variable.
Yes.
And the variable, the reason why you need it, okay, so the original, so what is this turn doing here? All we're doing is we're turning the turtle 90 degrees. Agreed? Because it's 1 times 90 is 90 plus 0 is 90 degrees. That true?
Yes.
Okay, so then what this one is, you need to turn the turtle 90 degrees. So
but in turtle geometry, 360 is the same as 0. So using 360 is deceiving. Okay. In I mean,
oh, I see. Oh, I see. Okay, I see.
Okay. And so we need to go through that a little bit.
Yes. No, I do understand where you're coming from. Yes.
Okay. Okay.
Cynthia, that's how I feel every week.
What?
That's how I feel every week until I do it. None of it makes any sense.
Okay, maybe that's what it is. and then all the explanation is for naught. I need to use it and then have it explained.
So here's the outcome. We need to get 270 degrees. And why is that? Is because it has to be turned that 90 degrees. It has to be the opposite. So what's the opposite of 360 is 180, right? The opposite, like going in the opposite direction of 360 would be 180, true?
Yep.
And then I've got to move it 90 degrees. So I need to move
in
200.
turtle geometry, negative 90 is the same as 270.
Oh. So I wouldn't have had to do that.
Well, I'm just saying that
Oh, okay.
if you
Okay.
turn negative 90,
Cynthia, you should have told me. You know what? I approach this in a different manner, and now I understand what you're saying. Yes, I didn't need to do that. All I needed to do is say negative.
yeah.
Interesting.
Okay, so here's what Kate says. Kate says if you're adding -1 times 90 to 360, it is the same as 360 minus 90. That would be easier.
Right. Right. Mm-hmm. Well,
Which is the same as 0 minus 90, which is negative 90.
mm-hmm.
So,
Okay. Well, you know what? I'm not going to say I'm wrong. It does work.
you're not wrong. You're
I'm
not
not wrong, but there's easier methods to
well,
do.
I don't know if it's easier, but if we're steeped in turtle geometry, there's another factor to consider. That's all.
Exactly. Exactly. Mm-hmm. Yep. Yep. So, I'm going to move on. Is that okay?
Fabulous.
Okay. So then, the turn left 90-degree block. So let me show you what the turn left 90 degrees. So because there's a turn and a move, we're always moving, turning and moving. I came up with this block. And the reason why I came up with the block was because I got tired of writing turn and then move and then turn and then move. Oops, what did I just do there? Okay, sorry. I was tired of doing turn, move, turn, move. So that's why I came up with this turn left 90-degree block. And then there's a turn right 90-degree block. And this is a good image of the flipping an object because you can see that this, and I will go to it and you can see that it's being flipped. So here we go. We're going to do this. So there's that one part of it.
Ooh, cool.
And then I'm making that line. That's going to be connecting it. And then this makes the other path of it. And this finishes it off. There we go. So you can see how I repeated that flip the design because there's that flip -1 360. So
What's your definition of repeat?
You want to see what's in my repeat? I will show you. And here's and it's just a turn right, and then it's just turn right, turn left, turn left.
I have to play with it. I have to see what these things do.
Right. Well, that turn right and turn left, remember, these are blocks.
No, but this one, repeat, is the blockbuster.
Right. Well, this is this repeat here, this
I
portion.
can't read it. You can close it.
Okay, I will close it then.
What I need to do, or you need to do, is show me what it does, not give me the code.
Okay. Let's go back.
Cancel.
Okay, you're canceling it.
No.
Oh, what do you want me to go back?
Yes, please.
Okay, I will cancel this.
Close the block editor. And now do a reset running stitch repeat.
So there's I'm gonna just
oh, I see.
Okay, so that turn right 90 degrees, it just moves a value, and then the repeat. In fact, I will take this out and then I will just do this is the repeat.
Thank you.
Yes, that is the repeat that occurs throughout the entire design.
Do it, click again without doing a reset, please.
Oops.
Amazing. Do it
Mhm.
again, please. Again, please. Isn't that nice?
Yes. Very cool.
It's a lopsided star.
Mm-hmm. So there's a lot of nice repeats in Wayclaw's designs.
But this one holds true, or do you have a repeat one, repeat two, repeat three?
Do I have a repeat one? No, I think this one is just a one repeat. I do have
No,
other
but
ones.
in your, never mind. I'll talk to you separately.
Yes, there are other designs that have multiple repeats.
Oh, okay. That's what I'm asking.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Oops. So to recreate Spakowski's designs, I created a grid of blocks, and as you can see, and I overlaid them. I used my Silhouette Cameo software to do this, and then I was able to determine the number of steps needed to complete each line by counting the blocks and coding them. And then I created over 80 of Wayclaw Spakowski's works using this method. Now I have a pixelated program here. So you don't have to copy a Wayclaw Spakowski design just because it's too hard to do. And I think I do say that here. It's hard to calibrate the size of the blocks and then to move it. So what I've done here, this is another program where you can't make a mistake. So I'm very sorry, but you're going to be using the arrow keys on your keyboard to do the design. So for instance, I am going to zero it out, and then I'm going to move my cursor over here, and then I'm just going to, where is it? Okay, reset view. Where are you? Zoom to fit. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know where it was. So I know I've lost it here. I'm going to go out. So I'm just going to move my key, then and move down, and then over, and then up. So I'm just going to go zigzag up and down. Oops. We'll add one each time.
Huh.
And this is just with the cursor with the arrow keys. Okay. And then, oops, I didn't want to do that. And here's the thing, I don't have, there's no table here, so I can't go backwards. I did create last night at midnight, I did create another program because I was like, I want to correct my mistakes. I don't want to have, to just do it once and then redo the whole thing. So I do have another program, and I don't know if you want to try this program first, but I do have something interesting in this program that I don't think we've talked about previously, and it's in the variables. So when you make a variable, I've made a variable called steps. And if I were to come over here, I'm gonna make it normal. So here's a normal steps. And the thing about steps is I am stuck with 7 steps each time. So when the cursor moves, it's going to move 7 steps. Sometimes I want to move the cursor a different value. And especially if I'm in this enlarged area, it's like, now how do I change my steps? I can't change the steps. It's a little frustrating. So what you can do is you take steps and you right click, and you can make it a slider. And you can give it the slider a min value. I'm going to make the min value of 1. And I can make it a max value, the slider of a max value, I'll make it 20. And I'll say, okay. And so when I enlarge the screen, I can move this cursor over and I can make my steps. Whoops. And I'm going to move my cursor. It's it's not really showing. But how about if I make it smaller? Because sometimes you'll be able to see it better. So you can see that it's moving only one step at a time. Isn't that cool? I like that a lot. So I can make it 10 steps. And there's your 10 steps. And it's hard to see the difference between 10 and, if I make it 20, I don't know if you can really see that. But anyway, the steps are different. And I just think that's really cool. And they're close. You can see that they are closer. So there you go. Would you like to all try this one for a few minutes? And then I'll show you my last program, which is the easier one where you can make mistakes and you can go backwards. Want to try that?
Sure.
I'll stop sharing.
So is it the last one that you gave me? I'm going to put it in the chat again.
Okay, so the last one I gave you, if you put the one.
Yeah, I'm going to put it in now. This is the last one you gave me.
Okay, yeah. And this one is you can resize it.
Somebody wants to know what machine you use for paper cutting. I think I
I
heard
use a
you say
Cameo Silhouette. I use a Silhouette Cameo. Yeah, and I love it. I do a lot of stuff. I don't know if you can see. I make my heart. This is a heart slice form that I do. I love slice forms. And I make a lot of different things. I've got a Taurus here that I always like to do. So I do a lot of fun things with paper. And here's the thing with TurtleStitch. You can code in TurtleStitch and then bring it into your Silhouette program. What you do is you save it as a DXF file and you can bring it into your Silhouette program to cut. And I've done that many times. I've done flowers and I've done, this pop-up, the base of this was a TurtleStitch pattern, a design that I coded and cut with the Silhouette. And I've also used foil quill. So like the Wayclaw Spakowski designs, I will export the design as a DXF file in TurtleStitch and then bring it into the Silhouette software and then print them out with foil quill. So it's really pretty, makes a really pretty card. So there's a lot of things you can do with TurtleStitch that are not embroidery machine related. Uh-oh, you're frustrated.
I need to have a Spakowski picture in front of me. And
Well, you can just start at one side and just
I
meander.
know what you can do, but I know what I need to do. It's
So, Elaine, what I'm thinking about is maybe you could put a few of your designs. I'm looking for them now, but they're really far back.
What designs are you looking for?
The Wacklaw ones.
The Wayclaw Spakowski?
Yeah.
Okay. I would recommend just going to turtlestitch.org and just doing Wayclaw and there's 80 of them. There's just so many.
Oh, okay. Wacklaw. Okay.
Yeah.
So go to TurtleStitch.
Oh, I'm pronouncing it wrong. It says, I believe Waclaw is Vaslav? Really? I didn't know. I'm so sorry. I've been saying his name incorrectly.
I'm pretty sure. Not 100%.
It's Vaslav?
Vaslav. I think that's the name.
And how do you pronounce his last name?
I think it's the same.
Spakowski?
I think the W is a V and the C is an S.
Oh my. Oh my. Silvowski?
Well, if you type in Václav, you can find some. Let's see.
Awesome.
There's so many beautiful ones.
The cricket is beautiful engineer, but is
What are your favorites? Can you show a few of your favorites while they're testing it out?
sure. I will go here, my projects. Still looking. I've got pages and pages of things that I've done, so just haven't gotten there yet. Here we go. So Václav has created so many designs. I am going to, this one is interesting. Oops, what happened here? You cannot, you have to zoom out. Project.
I'm going to show you mine, what I did.
Excellent. We
A
want to see.
while ago. It's not what I did today. I can't do it the way I see.
This one's a fun, this is very simple and interesting design.
Okay, I don't know how I did it, so is that
Go
good?
ahead and share, Cynthia, and then
Oh,
you
you're
can.
gonna share? Okay, I'm gonna stop sharing.
I'll just show you, but I did this from a picture that I saw of his. Ugh,
You're not sharing, Cynthia.
I know, but I will be now.
Okay.
Here it is. This
Oh,
is,
yes, I love this one.
Oh,
Okay.
beautiful.
well, but here's all the things, and I was seeing what it looks like if you did a zigzag. Whoa,
Mhm. Oh.
this, I had this in the wrong place. If I did a, I like that one.
Yeah.
But now you can pull these apart and see what I did. 5 up.
Mhm.
Actually, doing something like that initially is helpful. So what I often question now, this is too wide. So let's see what that does. Oh, how nice. Okay.
I really like the way that Cynthia has taken the code and made these blocks, because it makes it so much easier when you're designing. So you don't have to design the whole thing in one railroad rail. You can divide it up.
But it's what I'm always interested in is how do you analyze the situation, the problem, the project. And looking at one of his designs, I had to play around. And this is how so then this is the next step. And then, whoops, I'm going to show you 4 wide. Woo! So I made a lot of sub procedures. 4 down. And then 6 wide. Then 2 up.
This
Yeah.
is such a good example, Cynthia. This is
And then
excellent, at
three what?
least for me, the way
Yeah.
I understand
It
things.
gives me an idea. It gives me an idea of how to analyze what he did. Now, I'm not following the rule that Elaine stated, which is start from the left and end at the right.
Mhm.
Leslie says, thanks, Cynthia. This really helps.
Well, if you want to, you can go to my thing called lines. Okay, so it goes on. Let's just see what all this stuff does. Oh, well, that's a different project. This is a different project. Okay.
So this is really great. There was a question, another silhouette question back a while back, and I just wanted to sneak it in here. Which version of the silhouette software do you recommend, Elaine?
Okay, in fact, I think it's, wait, I'm not gonna say because um, I'm loading it right now. It's not on my screen. I've got 4.5, but I wanted to give you what version it is, because it is the latest version, but, I have, I don't have the newest silhouette. So
think
you don't need to upgrade the software as high as I have 4.5.152, which is a few versions back, because all the latest out there is for the new silhouette. So, and which I don't
but
have.
I'd like to say a comment on that. There's another kind of versioning with the silhouette. There's basic, design, and design plus and business. So there are
Right.
4 things. Basic is free. The other 3 you have to pay for. And the place to buy it is at, I think it's called Social Design. And I have Design Plus, but I'm thinking of getting business.
Yes. If
Because
you want to save SVGs,
with business, you can load in other formats that you can't with the other. I forget why. On the other hand,
yeah.
I have not used Silhouette for 2 years. So I'm not
If
sure.
you're going to be using the silhouette a lot, I recommend upgrading to the business edition, because this way you can save as SVGs. And
And
for instance, you said that you have a Cricut, and if you have a Cricut, then it only accepts SVGs. So when I do my designs, I always save it as an SVG. So the people who do have Cricut, they can cut my designs, because they cannot use the studio file that the silhouette has.
Deanna wants to
I
know
hope
if
that
it's a
answered.
one-time software purchase or a
Yes.
yearly fee.
Yes.
No.
One-time software purchase.
At the whatever it's called, design place, Swing Design, the business,
Swing design.
the the business
Check.
the business version is $89 for lifetime.
Mhm.
And
Yeah,
I bought a $49 version, 4 years ago, something.
I did too. So, and it does go on sale. So if you wait, you can sign it on sale.
Yeah, but even if you don't wait, is it Swing Design is the name?
Yes, that's where I bought my embroidery machine also.
Oh,
They're
okay.
very good.
Yes.
Yeah. I do recommend them. Because I
Somebody-
think they even
Kate
sell
has
to
put
Amazon.
The link, Kate just put the link in the chat for Swing Design. Thank you, Kate.
Yes.
Anyway, I'm still interested in, if you see it was a picture what are the subdivisions that you see? Like, that's what I looked at. Here are the subdivisions I saw. And
Mhm.
eventually I can become a grown-up and see what Elaine is offering,
Mhm.
but I think you have to have more experience of the sort that I had to appreciate the brilliance of Elaine's. Remember, she did 80 of them. I
Yeah.
did too.
That was a lot of fun. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. Okay. So I'm going to put in the chat. Let's see. And this is the one where you can save your designs. So maybe I should have given that to you initially, but I just, oops. You can play with it some more.
Well, you could save the table as a variable
That's true.
and save it. We have not discussed lists in TurtleStitch, which is the same sort of lists that are in Snap. And that's what the table is built on.
And that's, yes, and that's what this program does. It saves the positions of
A list of
the
three
turtle.
entities, X, Y,
Right.
and pen up or pen down. X,
That's
Y, and true or false.
Mm-hmm. So anyway, I'm going to finish what I was going to talk about because we only have a few more minutes. So I'm
Oh, I
going to
did
share
not.
my screen.
Yeah.
Oh, you want to stop sharing, Cynthia?
Oh,
And I'm just going to share my screen and finish off the talk with share. And I'm going to go back here. And this is my last slide. So both Picasso and Spakowski were, or Spakowski, I don't know, I'm pronouncing this incorrectly, were innovators in the art of the line. And TurtleStitch is an excellent way to create their works because it allows for free-form creativity as well as mathematically based precision programming. I'm sorry. So, and this was, this is Picasso's girlfriend. And he drew a picture of her, and it's similar to a line drawing. But there is, there is, it's not just one continuous line, but I really enjoyed it. And so I did her in TurtleStitch. And then I also did the Spakowski drawing, and this is the foil quill that I was talking about previously. I made a card out of it, and I printed it with my silhouette and with foil quill, and I think it turned out really pretty. So it's very creative. You can do a lot of things with TurtleStitch, and it's not just using the embroidery machine. So that's my talk for today, and thank you all for coming. And does anyone have any questions?
Wayne,
Yes,
I'd like
thank
to
you.
oh, go on.
I was just going to say thank you. It was just really systemic and clear and wonderful.
Okay, thank you so much. I was a little nervous about giving it. I don't know why, but I just, yeah, I'm glad you enjoyed it. And I think what's nice about TurtleStitch is not just a programming methodology. It also brings in the art, and it also brings in engineering with me for paper crafting. And so that's why I like TurtleStitch so much. It's all encompassing. You can do so much with it, and it goes beyond the embroidery machine. and the turtle. You can really expand upon it, and I'm sure you can do a lot with students with it in the classroom. So yeah. Any other questions? Let's see.
I'm trying to hold up your designs that you printed.
Okay, so
Okay,
pin
I'm gonna stop
Cynthia,
sharing.
pin Cynthia now so that you can see them. So
Yeah.
how do you pin? You go in the right corner and there's some dots and then you can pin. Ooh, yeah, that's the one with the visual. Does that
And
has
then this one is my favorite, that these are from Elaine, and some of you saw them already because can you talk about this one is so beautiful, Elaine?
Yeah, this one is just um I want to say there was 12 stitches. So it starts with one block. And that's the interesting thing about Wasclov. It just is, it's a block. And if you want to put these blocks together, um, they meander across the page. So at the top left, you can see it starts out with like 6 blocks, and then it goes, and then it changes to 5 blocks, and then 4 blocks, and then, well, is it 3 blocks? No, it can't be. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4. It starts with 5 blocks. So it's 5, 4, 3, 2, and then 1 block. And then he goes back to the top. And then he starts the same pattern on the other side where it's 5 blocks, and then it's 4 blocks, 3 blocks, and then 2 blocks. So it's really cool how he, am I saying that correctly? Because it's 5. It's kind of hard for me to
Can
see
you
that. But
remember
anyway, it's got a pattern, and it's a rhythmical pattern. And that's the interesting thing. And he did this over a lifetime. Can you imagine trying to come up with these designs and just drawing them in pencil initially, and then he drew it in ink? It's just amazing. I
Elaine,
really, and then it's repeat.
do
So
you
you can
have the
see,
code for this one?
do
Do
I
you
have the code for
you
that one?
can
Of
you
course I have the
locate?
code. I just,
No,
uh,
can you locate it?
okay, let me look. It's going to take me a few minutes,
Not
but let me see.
now, but could you post it? You don't have
Okay,
to.
sure.
I think it would
Yes.
really be nice to see if you have a picture of this and the code. It is so beautiful.
yeah.
If you go to, I hate to say this, but if you go to turtlestitch.org, you can see them all. So you can go and see the picture. You can
Oh,
execute it and see.
from your account. If you go
Yes,
to
from my
Elaine
account.
and do show
Yes.
all, you can see.
You're going to see them all, and it's amazing how they're recreated.
Okay.
And he also does, there's things that are like keys, and there's just, it's amazing.
Yes.
Very amazing.
And we can see your code, which would really be wonderful for us, I think.
Right, right.
So thank you so much, Elaine. And next week, I think I'm going to do Vera Molnar because we need a woman designer. And I think it'll be a lot of fun. She just passed away a few months ago, and I have a lot of material about her and examples of her work, and it's really fun to code her designs. So Kate says, brilliant work. Thank
Oh,
you.
thank you. Thank you very much.
So Deanna says this was amazing. Cameron says really amazing. Thank you so much. And we'll see you next week.
Okay, sounds wonderful.
Okay.
I'm going to look up the pronunciation, Elaine.
Yeah,
Now,
because
tell
I'm
them
so
that
sorry if I'm pronouncing it wrong.
if they search the web, they will see his exhibits in different places. And I think
Yes.
that would be nice for them to know.
Oh, fun. Walter did a Hilbert curve.
You did, Walter?
Yes.
Just now?
Wonderful.
I'll do a little bit more on that. I've done a ton of Herbert curves and music blocks where the music moves with the shape, which is actually kind of fun.
Oh.
But don't you think, Walter, it would be great to have um whatever you call it, strips of your
Paper tapes, yeah. I think
Paper tape music?
I already shared that idea on the Music Blocks channel. We'll see what we come up with. So.
dying to get you and tell you about it when Elaine showed me. I thought it'd be great. Because I think, and there's also something about celebrating a product. I mean, I can't say finished because things aren't ever finished, but something that's completed and that you can then take to shows. I love that idea of the music box. Now, do you know Elaine is working with Glenn Bull and Lipman from
Yeah, Michael Littman.
Michael
Littman.
Lipman, who's at
Lippman.
Princeton.
Yes,
He-
at Princeton.
He's he's an electrical engineer or something. He's
Aeronautical engineer, but that doesn't matter in physics,
what
and
kind of
he's into
engineer? I
everything.
can't remember. Some sort of
Aeronautical.
aeronautical
Yeah.
engineer. And
Mhm.
and have you paid attention at all to what Glenn is doing with music?
Yeah, he has
Walter.
he's been with Snap. I don't
No.
know if he's listening.
Okay. No, he's not. It's smart of him. But I love this, but I think putting up some examples, even if you could find a small pattern.
Yeah.
Okay.
Did he do anything small or is that all?
Um,
Or
I
but
have
even
this here.
taking
They're
a
all
even taking a section of this gorgeous thing.
yeah. They're all ugh, they're all big. They're all
They
big.
are.
Oh, yeah. Um, the key, I can probably do the key.
We should see
Uh,
what did you do? He must have made some.
I you has just one or two. I think he did this one. I think he did that one.
That's the one that looks disconnected.
Yes. There's so many. That's the thing.
But
It's
that
hard
one
to
looks
choose.
disconnected.
Oh, that one looks disconnected. That's why I showed this one. That's the one that I showed because I thought you can see the flip in it, and yeah,
Yep.
there's a constant.
Yeah. Yeah. I think.
So,
But yes. Um. But anyway, for me, I'd like a chunks.
mhm. You like chunks.
Well, something
Um,
that I'd like to be able to have a chunk and know how to connect it to make a bigger thing. It's something like
Really, see, that's my problem. It's hard for me to describe it all. It's the turning, it's just turning 90 degrees. I mean, the flipping and
no, you're
it's
not understanding.
no.
It's like with the Hilbert curve, because you can give it inputs, you can make a small one. You can make a small one with very long lines. And it's still a Hilbert curve. I'd like
Are you
to.
saying I can change the variables. I can change the width of it. I can change the size of it. I have coded that into each design, so I could do that. Is that what you're saying?
Well, in
I'm
some,
confused.
Walter, what do
Yeah,
you
because like I've
mean?
coded it so that I can change the width of the block.
So I think maybe Cynthia's trying to get at something slightly different, which is, so like, again, with the Hilbert curve, the pattern itself is sort of recursive. So you can make it be more and more and more dense without changing the size of the shape of the actual
Oh,
pattern.
okay. So she wants to make it recursive. I was
I'm not sure. This is
misunderstanding.
my get. This
No,
is
no,
not.
I'm
No,
not
that's
trying
not
to
what you
make it
want. Okay.
recursive. I'm not trying to make it recursive. I'm trying to take a piece of the grand design,
Mhm.
which is just like in a sense, it's recursive. It's how people define recursion, but it's a
Mhm.
chunk of the design.
So, all right. So very early on in today's lesson, there was that pattern that you took out of, it was just in a repeat and you hit the repeat 4 times and it made that star. So the idea of just getting
Yes.
that element that's the core of the design isolated. Is that what you mean, Cynthia?
So
Sort
do you
of.
want to have like one program with all of those isolated designs? I think that's what she's looking for.
No,
I'm not sure.
no.
I think just
No?
I'm looking for a smaller chunk.
right. So if you have design, that big design is made of a pattern, usually just one pattern, sometimes more, but usually just one pattern
Right.
that's repeated in different ways with retrograde or
Right.
inversion.
Right.
Hmm.
And I do call
So what
that
that core,
repeat
getting to
in
that
most
core
of my,
pattern. Yeah.
yeah. So you're looking for the core pattern and
Yes.
then you're looking for it in one program so that you can combine all these repeats.
Well, it doesn't have
You
to
can
be.
play with
No,
them all.
I
I
just
think
don't.
that's what you
understand the
want.
core element. Really understand the core element before you do the repeats and the reflections and the.
Mhm.
Also,
Yeah,
it'd be
because
fun to translate
kind
some
of
of these.
hard to
Yeah.
to bring them all together. I mean,
I don't know. That's what I don't know, but it would be nice to know.
I want to set some of them to music too.
You do?
It'll be fun.
Well, especially some of them that look like they're musical.
Yeah, yeah. Some
All
of
of
them look
them
like sheet music. So
that Elaine
yeah, I
showed
would love to see that.
that have bumps in them and
yeah.
what
Well, I
do you
mean, they basically just. I mean, it's almost like it's on a
crescendo. Hold on,
yeah.
that sort of.
But also, I mean, again, all these inversions and all this retrograde and just naturally, you're basically defining a phrase that you're flipping around in different ways. Very simple.
Yes, defining a phrase. See, it would be interesting to adapt the ideas of Spakowski. And that's, to bounce off him, to use him as a jumping off place.
Yeah.
That
And I mean, the other fun thing you can do, like with when I map like the Hilbert space to music, you can change the mode, and then it sounds really different. So, like if you just use a Western mode, it sort of sounds like Western music, and if you use a Japanese mode, it sounds like Japanese music, even though it's the same shape. It's really fun. So
well, we
Hmm.
have to see that.
Yeah,
you got to hear
that's exciting.
it.
Well, I mean, you have to show us.
Yeah.
When
Yeah,
do
do you have a website or do you put it out
Yeah,
on the
it's
internet or?
I can share you some links to the Hilbert space examples, and there are a few others that are kind of fun. I did a Benton box, which is where where you drop the marble and it hits the nails. That's a really fun one.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And you end up with a Gaussian distribution at the bottom, but you can make it sound just like completely different just by changing the mode. It's really fun.
Well, Elaine, this was beautiful. I hope I wasn't
Thank you. I was nervous. I don't know why I was so nervous, but I didn't feel confident. I don't know. I just, who knows?
Well, you came across confidently.
Okay, thank you.
Really came across beautifully.
It's a pleasure. Okay, thank you. I was nervous, but for some odd reason, but anyway, yeah, I do enjoy Turtle Stitch. Turtle Stitch is, I think, I've incorporated it into my paper crafting. In fact, I'm going to be doing something this week where it's a folding. If you fold a parallelogram and a triangle together, it'll create a star, and it's really cool.
Oh, yeah?
And yes, yeah, I don't even have a picture. I don't have an example here, but that's what I'm working on right now. So I hope to put it out on like Wednesday. So
Really?
so that's why
The paper
yeah,
cutting, is it basically, is it SVG, or is there some other format that is better for it? Well, I mean, I guess I don't understand the relationship between the stitch spacing versus if it's just, I mean, does that matter in the paper cutting? Does it care about the individual stitches along the path, or just about the path?
I save it as a DXF file,
Yeah,
so I can pull it into the Silhouette software. What I do is I create a 1-inch square because it doesn't always correlate. The sizing doesn't always correlate. So I can,
yeah.
if I create a 1-inch square in Silhouette and Turtle Stitch, I can bring it over to the Silhouette software and resize it correctly. And then I just cut it out normally.
So the
and
Silhouette doesn't
it's-
take SVG in?
It does take SVGs,
Okay,
but I've been using DXF for some reason.
yeah. I just was wondering
It
what the
was Simon
advantage of
Mung. Simon Mung got me hooked on DXF files, so I
Okay.
don't know
All right.
why.
Yeah, I mean, because
I don't remember
yeah.
why.
I mean, the nice thing about SVG is, again, you have Inkscape and things like that. So,
Oh, okay.
right. So
Yeah,
you can
yeah,
always, I mean, you can export, XSV from Inkscape if you have a plugin, but the nice thing is that SVG is so universal. It's just so flexible. So,
yeah, yeah.
um,
hmm
and
Maybe I
you're,
should start going back to SVGs, but
I don't know, I was just
maybe
was
there was a
curious if there was a
some
particular
sort.
reason.
I don't remember. There might have been an anomaly one time, and then I said, "Oh, this is ridiculous. What's happening with this SVG?" And then I went to DXF, and I never
Yeah.
had that problem. So, um, I know I can handle an SVG
Yeah.
in the Silhouette. So yeah, but the Turtle Stitch designing with the Turtle Stitch software is just amazing for me because like I do a lot of boxes and things. In fact, last year I made these heart boxes. So this was coded in with the Silhouette, not with Silhouette, with the
With
Turtle
Turtle
Stitch
Stitch.
and cut, yeah, with the turtle, and then cut with the Silhouette. And what this is there's a square here, right here, there's a square, and then there's 2 half circles here. And that
Right.
was coded.
Right.
And so I
Yeah.
can make any size
The
heart.
stuff she
So
does, she could do in turtle art.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, all you could do all this stuff in Turtle Art, but
No, but I'm just
yeah,
saying it isn't the stitching that
right.
is,
It's
it's
the
really
shapes.
the
Yeah,
line drawing.
yeah,
the shape, exactly. I've
yeah. I
never
mean,
used turtle art because I need somebody to show it to me. I don't know. I know it's there and just
I can show you sometime whenever you want, but
I can
I'd rather
too.
get you hooked on music blocks. But the
oh, music
I mean, you
box.
can do
Okay.
music block. You can do all the stuff in Turtle Art with music blocks and don't have to do anything with music. But it's just it makes it a little bit more performative because you've got all this control over timing too. So you insert graphics inside of notes. So when that note's playing, that graphic is drawing. So you can, it's just kind of fun. But
Oh, wow.
I
I'll
mean, the
look
other
into
thing
it.
that I
Show
had to
an example. You need to show an example.
Yeah,
all
I need
right,
to
well,
see it go
here,
move.
let me go to the Hilbert thing.
Do you pay attention to hyperscore?
No, I think hyperscore is kind of shallow.
Do
I
you?
mean, yeah. Anyway, let me share my screen real quick.
Good.
You see music blocks?
Yes, I do.
Okay. So let me just erase. Doesn't work very well with Zoom sometimes. What's going on here? Yeah, it's completely jammed. Let me try, let me stop for a second to try from, it might work better with Chrome. It just is. There we go.
Elaine, your line drawing stuff is so much better than what Andrea showed. And your conversation about it is so much better.
Yeah, I mean,
Thank
it's
you.
because it was right. It was just the essential building blocks, and you went up from there. As opposed to, it was much clearer. I mean,
And I can't
it
tell whether it's because of the English, of the language difficulties.
it was there was much more clarity in the turtle stitch code. The
Yeah,
turtle stitch code
it
was
was
just.
cleaner. It was cleaner.
I mean,
And,
first of all,
and
you don't want to start with all this